Because if they don't see the money, they'll go to something
Growing
else.
up, we never really saw money in farming because those who were into farming didn't look like money.
Right. But partly also state interventions have not helped, cocoa board. Farmers used to send their children. 5 of my uncles and aunties were all educated by my grandfather, who was a Omahine of Ejumako, in universities abroad,
With
based
the
with
money.
the money from cocoa farm.
And they were sponsored abroad?
They were, one went to Oxford, one went to Germany. So nobody can tell me, because that there's no money in agriculture. So I believe that, and there's ample opportunity, there's technology available to get agriculture to be a little more sexy for young people. Because think about it.
Why is it?
It's not that young kids don't want to be in agriculture, but what type of agriculture? Going to break your back? Agriculture, maybe if I'm in their shoes, I will not also do it.
Yeah.
So we need to think.
Technology.
We need to think about technology, make it easier for them. Not easier, but make it more productive.
Productive, okay.
The reason they're doing the betting and so on, they want to be successful. They want to make money. Of course, it's not that I think they just wake up one night and say, I'm going to bet. No, they see the value. They see the money at the end of the equation. So let's find a way to make sure that there's money at the end of agriculture.
But there's a conspiracy around that.
There's no conspiracy. There's no conspiracy. If you don't believe in science, you don't believe in science.
Okay.
Grafting is an important feature, and maybe nature does grafting, we don't know. A seed will fall into a branch of,
right, okay.
And then, nature does some of it.
Okay.
But practical agriculture, modern agriculture, grafting is part of it.
Okay.
And for people in diaspora, I said, get ready. Don't come and you hear stories and jump into things, people are being scammed, people are being, disappointed because, they heard something is good, they went in. Spend time yourself, to investigate it, to interrogate it, and be intentional about what you want to do.
So each row, how many fruits or balls of passion fruit can you get from it?
We are now 50 kilos per week.
50 kilos
We'll go to 100, we'll go to 200. Peak for us is about 500 kilos per week.
500 kilos. Oh, you've actually gotten there before?
We got 500 kilos per week, and it's 25 cedis per kilo.
25 cedis per kilo. Guys, do the math.
Passion fruits, I say it's not for everybody too.
Is it hard to do it?
It's not hard, but you need some investment to start.
In general, you have over 160 acres that you are working on, or 65 acres?
I would say about 60 acres. And we have 20 acres akuni, another 16 acres, 10 acres maize, and then over there we have about 20. It's a 40-acre farm, but we're doing about 10 acres.
What do you wish
coconut.
you knew before you started farming?
I know what I know now. Maybe I wouldn't have started also so big. I would have
15
stayed.
acres.
15. We graduated very quickly to 25, and then 25 became 40, and then it became 60. Maybe you consolidate and then you expand. You consolidate and you expand.
Hello guys, welcome back again to another amazing episode, and this is the Diaspora Transition episode, where we have conversations and dialogue with Diasporan who have relocated from the diaspora and currently living here on the continent, here in Ghana. Today we are here in the eastern region, in a very beautiful place called Asseseso, and I'm here with a Diasporan. This gentleman used to work with the World Bank and decided to relocate after he retired. And when he did relocate, move back to Ghana, he didn't just sit down doing nothing. He decided to build this beautiful place you see on your screen, a place for people with autism. And not only that, he has a huge farm, over 100 acres, farming all kinds of crops. Now, I'm very interested in his story. Why did he even decide to set his farm up? What inspired him to do so? And yeah, he goes by the name Mr. Aturu Brown. The name of the farm is called Albert Haven Farms, and they have beautiful crops. They farm cucumber, passion fruit, the list goes on. So without further ado, Mr. Aturu Brown, welcome on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for allowing us here. This is a beautiful place.
It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
It's beautiful. I love it. It's so green.
You refer to me as a diasporan, but I never left,
Really?
I never left, even though I was away since '92. I left 92 and came back end of 2019. I never think of myself as having left, you know, because I kept my contact, my roots with Ghana. I retired on the 1st of December 2019, and 8th of December I was already in Ghana.
In just a week?
In a week, yeah.
Whoa. Now, briefly introduce yourself.
Right.
What was your background? Who
Right.
are you? And then we just dive into what you have going on.
Right. My name is Aturu Brown, as you've mentioned. And yeah, I trained as a civil engineer, worked for the World Bank for 28 years, and then retired 2019, and I've been back for the last 5 years. And the reason, one of the reasons why I never left is that I grew up. We did a 2-year national service. I happened to have done 4-year national service.
Really?
I didn't know what I was going to do after national service. So I continued working with national service, and that introduced me to a lot of community development work and volunteerism. You know, different aspects, traveling around the country, working with farmers, working with building community secondary schools, do all kinds of things. So that. Maybe that was the bug, you know, and so surprise, that might have given me a career for close to 30 years, you know. So I always tell people doing national service and doing volunteer work and so on, not to give up, because
it could take you places.
It could take you places. But the reason why we're here in Albert Haven on this farmstead or homestead or whatever you can call it, is that one of my sons is autistic, you know, a non-verbal autistic, and his name is Albert, and that's why we call the place Albert Haven.
Oh wow!
He's 29 now, and he'll be 30 this October.
Okay.
So at 2, when he was diagnosed, we've always, at the back of our mind, we've always had. At least I consider the family, we consider ourselves lucky that we've had about 27 years. We had a lot of years to plan what we do with Albert, you know, how to create a secure environment and secure life for Albert. We will go, but Albert will still live a bit longer. So we wanted to figure out how we could do that. And it's not that we could not trust the siblings to look after him, but we wanted to kind of create an institution. So we set up this foundation, Albert Haven Autism Foundation, and to sustain that, we set up the Albert Haven Farms that was supposed to support the foundation. So that's been, and the last 5 years we kind of been hacking away, building some of the core buildings, and to be able to have children with autism in particular, but children with disability in general, to come here for respite care, you know, basically to come and chill. They come, the grounds
are there. Is it relaxing for?
Right. So is the children, the children or persons with autism or disabilities can come, their parents can come, the caregivers also can come. You know, so anybody who is associated with that family, even. So what we've had is that we've adopted Educrom Special Education. It's a Methodist special education unit, about 30 kids of different ages with different disabilities. They come here a lot, maybe once every month or 2 times. They come and hang around. They picnic, they dance, and they enjoy themselves and go home. Also, Multi-Kids Academy, also in Accra, they come here. Also parents, some parents call and say, hey, is it okay if my son or daughter can come and hang around for the weekend? That's also possible.
Okay, they can stay over?
They can stay, you know.
Okay, so
day programs are okay. We can, back there we have, we're going to build some more, a resource center also for transition care. So one of the things we're looking forward is transition care. After 18, what happens to these kids? Below 18, they are in school or some protected environment. After 18, they are home some of them getting depressed, and some of them not finding anything to do, any purpose with their life. So we might build a resource center where they can do some work, occupational therapy type of work, or even gainful employment, you know, of some sort, you know. So we hope in the next 2-3 years to build a full institution, or the foundation will build a full institutional space for both work and relaxation for the people with autism, people with disabilities, and their parents, and also the caregivers, you know. So that's the plan.
I like that. That's a great initiative.
Right.
And I must commend you. 5 years now, you relocated back here. How has the experience been like? We can walk around if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you know, I always say that I'm blessed. You know, I had an international job. I retired with maybe a decent pension, and so it's time to pay back. Time to pay back to society. You know, so pay it forward. You know, so that's what I feel very blessed and honored to be able to do this. You know, so I don't have any second thoughts about it, you know. And but it's also, the more, you know, as I said, I moved back to Ghana 5 years ago, and every day we see another dimension of the problem, you know. So it keeps us working. It keeps us, you know, on your feet and thinking through what is it we can do extra, and so on and so forth. So that's it. Even with a farm,
yeah,
you know, we have
so many varieties.
We have the predominant crop is mango.
Okay.
Because we are in the mango belt, the beginning of the mango belt. So mango, we have 40 acres here, 20 acres on Akuni plot. We have on another farm in Cinema, we have coconut there. And then around here, we wanted to have more variety. So we have coconuts, we have mango, you know, we have bananas. The bananas, they grow wild. Actually, you don't even have to grow them. They'll grow themselves along the stream that we have here. We have passion fruits. We are now dabbling into dragon fruits also.
I see. Can those be grown here in Ghana?
Yeah, it's tropical crops. So any tropical, so we want to grow maybe 50 different types of fruits, tropical fruits. We want to grow them here, you know, and to be able to, now maybe the idea is not to have mono cultivate, but to plant through the forest, you know, try to re-energize the forest with fruits and other crops that you can use.
Now, as a banker, can I say that?
Well, you can call me a banker.
How do you then master the art of farming at this magnitude at which you are operating?
Right. You know, I think we all live to learn. And I tell people I'm pretending to be a farmer, because most of my life I wasn't a farmer, you know. But my dad introduced us some farming, palm plantation, when we were in school, and we hated it a bit, but it was okay. He gave us some in my father's hometown, Asseseso, in the Ijumakon district. So we had some exposure whilst in secondary school, early secondary school. We went to the farm. We tried. It was fun for us. We live in Takoradi, and every holidays we go to the farm and have fun. So that's one aspect to it. And being a civil engineer and also specializing in water.
Water? What do you mean specializing in water?
In the bank, I rose up a technical grade to be the sector manager for water for North Africa and Middle East. I used to cover Morocco to Iran, you know, and that's the driest place you can find on earth.
Yes.
And trying to find solutions for using less water, using solar, using different technologies to maximize agriculture productivity. So I had some experience with that. And also when I moved to the management stream in the country operations in the bank, I covered Sierra Leone and I covered Kazakhstan. And there I also handled the full portfolio of the country for the bank, and that also got me exposed to different agriculture. You know, my last project actually is a $500 million project in Kazakhstan to livestock development. You know,
wow.
To produce maybe 100,000 heads of cows for the Chinese market for Kazakhstan.
Really?
So you get. I've had the privilege or the opportunity to be, even if on the fringe as a manager or as a technical person in the bank, to be associated with that project.
Can we speak about that trajectory a bit? Knowing the country's portfolio in terms of agriculture,
Right.
what do you think the trajectory of agriculture is in this hemisphere?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask that question.
No, I can't help
You know,
it.
I mean, Africa is going to be the breadbasket for the world. I mean, basically, we have the most, maybe the most
Green,
arable
lands.
lands in the world. We also have the population. We're going to be the most populated. Can be 1 in 4 in 2050. 1 in 4 people in the world will be living in Africa. So we have both the population and we have the agriculture potential.
Okay.
You know, the issue is how to move it from potential to reality and to be able to be food secure and to have food or crops for industry.
So, you know, the youth, we spoke about this behind camera, that
right.
the youth, when we speak about farming, it's often not, they don't find interest in that. They would rather just go do soccer bets, play with their phones, invest in mobile phones, expensive phones, and start a farm by themselves. And you say the potential is there, Ghana can take advantage of it in terms of farming and agriculture. Do you think we are actually going to, based on the data we have now?
We have no choice. I mean, maybe, like they said, in local language, if I'm right, they say, Yankupon wasum na manyamehu. We only worship God in tribulation. Maybe, I mean, the existential threats are going to push the youth into agriculture or some form of agriculture or value-added agriculture one day, not now, along the line. So we have no choice. I mean, and maybe the leaders and the people who opinion pools in the country should be thinking about it. If we are not intentional about it, we'll be forced into it. You know, so we need to start working and being intentional about getting the youth to value-based agriculture. Not just agriculture. Agriculture itself is
but the whole chain.
The value chain is the menu. You know, that we should have young people in primary agriculture, young people in secondary agriculture, in tertiary agriculture. You know, I mean, it's not an accident that Brazil devotes maybe for the last, remember, maybe $4 billion budget in agriculture research alone. Just research alone. So there are countries that are committed to agriculture in big ways. I mean, the U.S. started the agriculture and engineering universities under the Land Act to revolutionize agriculture in the U.S. So countries have traveled that path, you know. And even in Ghana, we've had moments where, whether it's Operation Feed Yourself or in Nkrumah's Young Pioneers culture, you know, revolution, we've had some attempts, you know, and we need to continue that. We should look any opportunity, whether it's in Kukon Ketinketi or you can make jokes about it. But I mean, let's go beyond the jokes, you know, and focus on transformational agriculture.
I like
you know, and I think we have nothing to lose if, you know, the effort is what we need to put in to make sure that we when we land, when we fail forward, you know, not fail backwards. You know, so I believe that, and there's ample opportunity, there's technology available to get agriculture to be a little more sexy for young people, you know, because think about it.
Why is it?
It's not that young kids don't want to be in agriculture, you know, but what type of agriculture? Going to break your back, you know, agriculture. Maybe if I'm in their shoes, I will not also do it.
Yeah.
So we need to think.
Technology.
We need to think about technology, make it easier for them. Not easier, but make it more productive.
Productive. Okay.
You know, I mean, the reason they're doing the betting and so on, they want to be successful. They want to make money. You know, of course, you know, it's not that I think they just wake up one night and say, I'm going to bet. No, they see the value. They see the money at the end of the equation. Let's find a way to make sure that there's money at the end of agriculture.
But is there money though? Is there money?
Oh yeah, there is. I mean, there is. I mean, I don't think that, but the money is on the value chain.
Okay.
You know, so it's not just the primary
consumer side of agriculture.
All the way to the supermarket, you know. Okay. And there are linkages to agriculture, you know. I mean, let me see what the best sample I can say. Palm oil.
Palm oil. Okay.
You know, they said maybe 25% of products in supermarkets are palm oil based. Creams, whatever, you know, basic food items, oils, you know. So it's the value chain that is going to give the you know, maximum productivity and help young people see the money. You know, because if you don't see the money, they'll go to something
Growing
else.
up, we never really saw money in farming because those who were into farming didn't look like money.
Right, but partly also state interventions have not helped. You know, cocoa board. Farmers used to send their children. 5 of my uncles and aunties were all educated by my grandfather, who was a Omahino of Ejumako, in universities abroad,
With
based
the
with
money.
the money from cocoa farm in Amonda, you know, in Sikuma district.
They were sponsored abroad?
They were, one went to Oxford, one went to
So there's
Germany.
money.
No, so that, you know, so nobody can tell me, because, you know, that there's no money in agriculture, you know. But state interventions in the past, you know, cocoa board, you know, you see what happens in cocoa board, they are not supporting farmers. So if they are not supporting farmers, then it means that you're not going to get
A lot of people going to
as
farming.
we speak, our cocoa productivity has fallen to 50%. You know, partly because of
Cocoa board.
you know, the institution doesn't. I mean, blame them first. There might be other reasons, but I think state interventions. We need to calibrate state interventions to make agriculture a bit more sexy and make sure that people see the money at the end of the table. You know, at the end of the chain. Yeah. All
I like that. What do we have here?
Let's go and see. It's this
wow.
you know, we do cucumbers, we can do tomatoes, we've done tomatoes here which we sell to ShopRite. We've done bell peppers, also sell to ShopRite and other aggregators.
Okay.
And then now we're doing cucumbers. And yeah,
Okay.
it's a bit of control environment.
Okay.
I mean, we are not observing all the full protocols, you know, as it were. But at least you can do the irrigation. Like if you go out there, open the water, you know. There's a patchambas here.
Well, I see the irrigation system.
Yeah. Just the So once you open the tap, no, not yet, no. Yeah, that's right. Open the tap, and then
Oh, so the water will be set.
yeah, the water will it will drip down,
Oh,
and
I
then
see.
so 15 minutes, and you can shut it off.
Okay.
You know, so that's what I'm saying. That if
Technology.
you have to now, a lot of them use fire hose. There's like fire service to water plants, which is not optimal. You know, but with a system like this, you can control the water application, you can control the pests, you can control different aspects. You can fertigate if you want to. You can make it pure organic if you want to. And that's what is going to give you the money.
I see.
Of course, investment, we can talk about investment, but at least in aggregate terms or in totality, you see money at the end of it.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
So that's you know, I think we shouldn't blame young people for looking for money. Money is good, you know, but it's just that how they get it and how whether it builds discipline, it builds a culture of sustainable culture in their heads. That's what's important.
I like that. So that's also cucumber. So
That's
you have
also
two
cucumber.
greenhouses.
Two greenhouse. We do cucumber.
cucumbers.
Cucumber is easy. 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
Okay.
You know, so we are doing cucumber now, but we need to understand that after a while you need to change the crop.
Okay. Why is that important?
Because the pest load it catches up with you.
Okay.
No matter how you control it, it catches up with you, and then you have to introduce another crop.
I see.
You know, so there's a lot of science behind it. You know, you grow tomatoes for 2 seasons, third season change to another crop. You know, that's nature.
I see.
You know, even control nature, you have to observe some protocols. You know, so you change. Once you change, it helps get the pests that are associated with cucumbers, you know, off your back. Then you can start. You know, once there's an overload of it, you need to change.
I see.
You know, you need to change.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I would like to see that.
Right. Let's see. We have a few. If you go back here, It's a bit messy, but
I see some coconuts.
We have some coconut here, at least from, you see, they started
From the stream?
They started growing. So I actually, I don't, from next year, I'm be very happy not to buy coconut
Really?
at
Because you have plenty of them.
seven cities in Accra, you know, or, you know, I really, so we do some catfish.
Okay, catfish.
Yes, we have some free range chicken.
Okay.
We get some eggs, we get some chicken. If they make loud noise, the one who makes the loudest noise can go for slaughter. So we have, right.
So you literally have everything here?
No, it's just, this place also acts as a demonstration place for the agri extension people, you know, so they bring the people here to, so we try to do, when you come here, you don't leave the same. They said,
You've learned something.
The church people say, when you
Life will be different.
You go to church, your life will be different. So I hope that anybody who comes here, when you leave, at least you learn something. You know, so this is catfish. The big ones are in here, and then I think this one we just stocked about 1,000 fingerlings in there. You can see them. Yeah.
Oh, what is that?
That's catfish.
Are they that
These
big?
are big ones. Yeah.
Oh wow.
These are about 1 kilo plus catfish, and there's the young one. So what we want to do is to try and do a rotation. So every time we had catfish, every time of the year we should have catfish.
Wow.
You know, some we sell, some we
eat it yourself.
you know, and yeah. So we have some goats in there and some sheep. So we try to have
Every piece of everything.
everything, you know, and it's possible. It's possible, and you don't need to do them at scale. The scale I'm doing it, even if you do a small 1 acre plot, you still can do circular agriculture. You can do use chicken manure to feed the crops. You know, use the water. This water is very rich in nutrients. You can use it for irrigation.
To water,
So we're thinking about doing some hydroponics also.
Okay.
You know, to be able to, you know, show people that you can do more, even with this space alone. You look at how many coconut trees, how many mango trees, what you can do with space, you know. You need to understand to intensify, to
Utilize it.
increase productivity of agriculture. That's the beauty of it. Okay.
You have pears too here.
Avocados,
Avocado.
you know, we have, you know, so fruits, papaya, you know, we have fruits, we have about 7 fruits now. We want to grow to 50.
50.
50.
Wow.
And we're also trying to look at fruits that people have forgotten about. We went out there and found jackfruit. You know, we have
Really?
We have
You found them
jackfruit.
in the mountains?
We have in the forest.
In the forest?
Jackfruits here. You know, even passion fruit. People used to have passion fruits around. You know, so some of them are indigenous.
But we thought all those things were foreign.
No, they are not. You know, once they're tropical, there's a chance that we have some here, but maybe we didn't know what it was, so we never capitalized on it. Now there's a segment of the population that want juices. So for the passion fruits, for instance, it mostly goes to hotels, it goes to aggregators who send it to supermarkets, or to those people who make cakes, but most of it is actually lounge bars. You know, mixologists use it to mix the drinks.
Wow.
You know, but also the juice people also use it. You know, passion
Cocktails.
But yeah, passion has a very
Diverse
big impact on other fruits. When you mix it with fruits, it's
It
different.
makes it better.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
Right.
So how many acres are you sitting on with this one?
Right. Over here we have about 100 acres,
Okay.
and then we have another maybe another 50 or another.
56 acres. Oh, really?
So we have maybe, I would say, about 200 odd
Acres.
acres of, but half of it is forest.
I see.
And we want to maintain as a forest for eco park, do trails and have people go and learn more about the forest. So we'll start planting
There,
some
but not
trees. Yeah, you know.
Oh, just trees,
We'll
not
plant
fruits.
fruits, trees. You know, you want to have, like I say, nature abhors monotony. You know, so
So
anytime
instead of
you
farming one specific crop
right,
throughout, you'd rather put in.
there's a space for either the layer, you know, the big trees, timber trees. There's a space for nitrogen fixing trees like acacias, and so there's space for leucaenas and so on. There's a space for fruits. There's a space for shrubs like asana, the one that you eat. You know, and there's space for under the space for contumbre, taro. You know, so there's a space in the ecosystem.
Doesn't it take away from the other crops?
You have to manage it. That's the important thing.
Okay.
Like in Brazil now, permaculture, they have all kinds of names now coming up, where they try to, but you need to prune, say leucaena and acacias, and spread them on the bottom.
Interesting.
So you allow some light to come in until the fruits. So there's a room. There's always a hierarchy. Whether cocoa farms, you know, even in cocoa farms, you have to plant some
something under there.
The trees or plantain for first to shepherd the seedlings, and then also provide water. So plantain suckers provide a bit of water around the roots for and then you also have to have shade. Even in cocoa farms.
Really? So what would you plant to then get shades under?
In cocoa farms?
Yeah.
Oh, all the timber trees that were grown in cocoa farms.
Oh, okay.
You know, Odum, you know, for 30 years, you can have some of the hardwoods back. So almost every cocoa board, when they're doing any reforestation of their, or rebuilding the cocoa farms, they emphasize on timber trees also.
Wow.
So there's always a hierarchy in the forest.
I just thought timber trees were just meant for the
for
the chairs and then
not at all. You know, so they all provide help with the carbon.
Yeah. Let me ask, what you are doing, is it possible for any diasporan watching to be able to do that?
You know, just start when you're ready. You know, I mean, I wish I could have started earlier. I started maybe 9 years ago because I had an objective. I wanted to build the what do you call it?
Ecosystem?
I wanted to build the Autism Foundation.
Okay, yeah.
You know, so I wanted to build a respite center. You know, so I started 9 years ago, and now we have something that is fit for purpose. You know, so I think people in diaspora they need to. It's not for everybody. Let me put it out. It's not for everybody, but those who have the desire to do it, start early. Start with 2 acres, start with 5 acres. And if you're ambitious, start with 10 acres. But I will challenge people in diaspora who have had opportunity to make some, have some resources. I will challenge them that if we don't do it, who do we expect to do it? Right? If we, who have,
with the resources,
we have been fortunate, not only fortunate, but we've had the opportunity, and we've seen stuff.
Exposure.
You know, I've seen farms that you can't see. You can't see the end of the farm in Egypt. You go to rice fields or whatever, wheat fields in Egypt, you can't see the end of it. You know, I used to do maybe $100 million a year in Egypt in terms of loans for agriculture.
Wow.
You know, in Morocco we did 300 hectares of modification of the irrigation system from channel irrigation to drip irrigation to grow, to transform Morocco into a vegetable market for Europe.
Wow.
Right. So, you know, you go to Australia, you know, there are many countries where you can see, you know, last year I was in Nebraska, and in Nebraska, the average farm size is 1,000 acres.
The average?
The average, you know. So, if we, those who in diaspora, those who are a bit more endowed, don't get into agriculture, then we should not expect the young people and others who are not less endowed to go into it.
Is agriculture capital intensive?
It could be. It could be, but it depends on scaling. I mean, I would say that do the maximum you can.
Okay.
Don't. You're not in competition. You're competing with yourself. It's like a golf game. You're not competing with anybody. You're competing with yourself and your capacity. So do what you think is, you know, you can do. And you know, I've seen people. I've seen people who have 2 acres and they're doing fine. You know, especially in the poultry, animal industry. You know, I mean, you just visited Mr. Tete.
Yes.
20 years of hard work, you know, He's the economy of Asseseso. You know, I mean, he produces 1,000 crates of eggs per day.
1,000.
I know, yeah, 1,000 crates of eggs per day in Asseseso. It's possible.
It's possible.
You know, so so I believe that, but it's just the tenacity, the persistence, the stubbornness. You know, you need to be in with a passion. You know,
He spoke about being on ground.
Yes, he's been always here. After national service, he moved to Asseseso, and he's been here. You know, so the absentee type of farmers is an outdated model. You know,
most diaspora expect to just invest in a business and just leave it alone and be successful.
You can, but invest in the right business. So if
Okay.
you have, there are a new crop of agribusinesses that manage farms for people. So you put your money into it, and they manage it for you.
I see.
know, so they take a large acreage and I said, okay, 10 acres for this guy, 10 acres for this guy, 10 acres for this guy. That's also possible. So find the right people who can manage your investment for you. And it's possible. People do joint programming in poultry farming. You know, I think we've not done enough about leveraging. We've not done
Can we
enough.
speak on that?
You know, I think, I don't know why, but I think individual efforts have their limits. At some point in time, when you get into agribusiness, you need to go into the corporate side. When you want to scale up, then sometimes bringing other people's money into the game becomes important.
So accepting investors?
That's right. Especially where you have a hostile banking sector that interest rates.
They don't even give loans. Even they do give you.
Self-investment, you know, joint investments might be better than maybe going to the banks to borrow. So we need to figure out at any stage in our trajectory what we need to do that makes sense. You know, because if you go and borrow at 30%, you know,
you're waiting for the bank.
Just, yeah. So maybe borrow for working capital, but don't borrow for the capital. You know, unless of course you get to a point where
it's mandatory.
You have enough capital stock that the little you borrow from the bank you still can pay for it. You know. So I will not say people should not go and borrow, but the bigger farms need bank investments
just to be able to scale up.
But if you want to start, I would say your first place, you use your own resources, use family resources, use joint resources, they work with friends, build trust. I mean, trust is going to be the name of the game. Build trust with people that you can protect their money, and I'm sure people will be happy. Some diasporans will be happy to let you work for them.
Because I know people who they have a little bit of liquidity. Right. They don't necessarily want to come on ground, but they want to invest.
Right.
Even with your farm, do you also accept investors? Or?
No, I think I've not had a need for that. But I can tell you, one of the things I'm doing here, by my presence here, I have a couple of young people, some in diaspora. They come, uncle, you know, I need land, I want to do what he does.
So you give them the land?
Sure? So we have helped them find land. Sometimes I give them, I help them with some land, you know, and they're doing stuff. I mean, I have a young kid in New Jersey who has a 25-acre farm. He's done about 15 acres of mango. That's something that you can watch from afar, you know, because it's a fruit tree crop. You know, he just brings the money for making sure that the farm hygiene and you know, is going on. And then he did a borehole. He's now building a small shed for someone to stay there and look after that. So I think there are people, you know, and I see increasingly people visit here and they say, oh, you want to start something. And I encourage them to do that, you know, you know, because that's the way to go. You know, critical mass is important, you know, to showcase, to add the young people especially, that these diasporans, these guys who they look up to, actually prepared to commit to agriculture. Then they will commit, you know.
And I think leadership by example.
In the past, we went to school. They went to school after us, until maybe they discovered that they were not getting much in school. But you know, you know, whatever we do will mirror in young people aspiring to be, you know, like us. And you know, and I think that the critical mass. Once you get the critical mass, then you have the revolution. You have the train moving. Then transformation will begin to.
Some farmers, they can be very profitable, but they never share their profits or even tell us, the youth, on how profitable the business is. So we from the outside, we're just judging based on their looks. We don't know no numbers. So we don't, it's not attractive to us, the youth.
Right.
Does that make sense?
And I think it makes sense, but my point is that if you have a relationship with the farmer, then you get
The
to
insights.
benefit the insights. Because just telling you about the numbers won't mean anything. You get what I mean? I mean, like we said, mango is 4 years. You know, so in 4 years, will you need all the cost for the 4 years to make up your mind? Maybe you won't even start. You know, but I always say that when I'm talking to young people, I try to break it down for them. That farming is not for the faint-hearted. It's not for everybody. Everybody can do some farming, but if you want farming as a business, you know, as an agribusiness, you need to understand that there's a cash flow regime. So you need to design even your farm to respond to your cash flow needs. You need a 3 months cash flow with vegetables. You need a 6 months cash flow with passion fruits and co. You need a 9 months cash flow with another crop, and you need a 3-4 years cash flow with mangoes and coconut and the tree crops. You know, so if you don't understand that, so when you start even the mango, you can plant some maize in the middle for a while, for 2-3 years, and then you have to stop. You know, so you need to plan for cash flow to maintain the farm.
There's a problem in terms of mango farming. I don't know if you're facing the same problem. Bats eating the mangoes.
Oh, they can eat all. They can eat some. They're nature.
Really? No.
What's the problem with bats eating mangoes?
No, but they just bite it and it gets infected, so it just spoils.
I don't know what.
It doesn't affect you?
I think it's an exaggeration. I have bats here. They, you know, I don't think it's the main problem. The main problem mango is BBS. You know, a black is a black. It's a disease. It's a bacteria disease.
Okay.
You know, that is actually the biggest headache. It can destroy your whole farm. You see some of the leaves, you know, mealybug, you know, anthragnos, you know, they are disease specific, not bats. So anybody who tells you about bats is just telling you stories.
Really?
You know, yeah, no. Bats are in nature, you know, they're here. You don't even see them. Night you see a few of them flying around. So if you eat some mangoes or eat some pawpaws, what's the problem?
I see.
You know, so it's not your major challenge. You know, mango farming, it's a 4-year trajectory, even before you see the first money. You see the real money maybe after 8 years.
Really?
When the trees are matured and they're producing
More.
at peak, you know. So
how many tons do you get per each harvest?
This year we had about 160 tons.
160 tons?
Yeah, for about 25 acres.
Okay.
You know. So it's still, we are not optimal yet,
Okay.
you know. But at least we got 160 tons.
What's the market value per 528 acres?
It's about 5 kilos. We sell at 5 kilos per kilo, 5 cedis per kilo.
Okay.
You know, so you can do the maths.
Yeah,
I don't need
they
to,
will do the maths.
I don't need to tell you the amount, but you can do the maths.
Yeah.
You know, and we have 15 odd people that we employ, so you can also do the maths. You know, so it's profitable. It can be profitable. The whole Somenia, you know, mango is the
most farmed.
Yes,
Okay.
mango is what has brought Somenia onto the map in Ghana.
Interesting.
You know, I mean, I don't think that extreme poverty, you know, has been eliminated yet, but I mean, mango's economy, and if we can, in the Somenia area, we can do the value addition in Somenia area, I think you can have a transformation in this area.
I have a question about the mangoes.
Right.
What I grew up knowing what mangoes is the little one, the smaller one.
That's right. This one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we have these big versions coming in. What's the difference, and which one is it?
These are the native mangoes,
Okay.
and then we have the hybrids
Okay.
that are coming in from all kinds of places. But I think Keith, Kent, apple mango, there are several varieties that are grown. But even for the hybrids, you still need the rootstock of
Which
the
one is
local
the
one.
rootstock? Okay, really?
Yeah. These ones you can grow from the seed. These ones you can't grow from the seed.
Why?
Why? Because they're hybrids.
I see.
You know. So what you do is that you take the ones that they fall under the tree, they start growing mangoes. You take that and then graft a healthy shoot on it, and you get your hybrids to grow.
Interesting.
You know, so there's a lot of science in there.
There's a conspiracy around that.
There's no conspiracy. There's no conspiracy. If you don't believe in science, you don't believe in science.
Okay.
Grafting is an important feature, and maybe nature does grafting, we don't know. A seed will fall into a branch of,
Right, okay.
and then, you know, nature does some of it.
Okay.
But practical agriculture, modern agriculture, grafting is part of it.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
So conspiracies and so on are like GMO and
Yeah.
but it's a choice. There's choices and trade-offs. You know, so any country, any farmer, you need to determine what choices you make and what are the trade-offs,
Right.
and balance it and decide what you want to do.
What is your next? I mean, obviously, this foundation
Right.
is growing every year.
Right.
The pressure would be bigger in terms of feeding
Right.
people who are part of this
Right.
organization and foundation. What is your 5-year, 10-year plan for
Right.
you know, this foundation?
We'll have a facility that can take about 50 people overnight
Okay.
visits, weekend visits.
Okay.
Day trips, we don't have a limit. You know, we've hosted 100 people here. It's easy. We have the grounds for it. So we build the first block. It's
Okay.
about eight bedrooms.
Okay.
But you can also, in some of the bedrooms, you can put bunker beds and have
Okay,
4 people in the
sleep
room.
more, yeah.
Right. So we hope that we'll build another block, and we'll build a resource center, and we'll build this kind of a sports facility for exercise and different
Exercise,
things, you know, here. So this will be the phase that. So phase 0 is this, phase 1 is this, phase 2 is coming,
Okay.
and then by as you said, by 2-3 years, we have a fully fledged respite center
I see.
that can also offer occupational support.
Has this ambience and this environment added to your healthiness or how healthy you are compared to?
I'm glad. I'm glad I don't fall sick very much, and I don't know whether it's because of
The nature.
But I feel comfortable here. I feel comfortable. And my son comes here most of the time. He's here with me. He's now in Accra because he needed to see a ear specialist. So he's in Accra for the week, and then he'll come back here.
Okay.
You know, yeah. And
Send a final message to the people watching before we visit the farm. And
right. I mean, I think that people in diaspora, or even people in Ghana, middle class, you know, up and coming young people, especially educated young people, that there are different opportunities in the country for them. I mean, they should just open their eyes, you know, open their ears, you know, keep their nose clean, and then, you know, chance upon opportunities that come in their way, and start whatever small you can start. The only way, you know, you'll only stagnate if you don't move, you know. So just start with something, you know, commit to it, get a purpose, get a drive for it, and then move on. And then be the example for other people to follow.
Has the journey been worth it for you so far?
Oh yeah. I mean, I have no regrets at all. No regrets at all. No regrets at all. You know, but I was ready. And for people in diaspora, I said, get ready. Don't come and you hear stories and jump into things. You know, I mean, people are being scammed. People are being, you know, disappointed because they heard something is good. They went in. Spend time yourself, you know, to investigate it, to interrogate it, and be intentional about what you want to do.
I see.
You know, don't leave it to chance.
People move back and want to retire, but they firstly want to live in Accra. You came in the nature and you're doing just fine.
You know, because I had a reason to be. You know, I wanted a place 1 hour
Would
from
you recommend
Accra.
people, diasporan retiring, to also live in an environment like that?
Why not? Why not? I mean, I think, but everybody should decide for themselves. You know, I'm not going to. It works for me, but it might not work for everybody.
Right.
Some people might have comorbidities that they need to be closer to health facility. But for me, it's 1.5 hours. I'm in Accra, so there's no burden, you know, in being away from Accra. You know, and I can go to Accra anytime.
I like that.
I can go to Accra. You know, this week.
It's pretty cool, and you guys have beautiful roads, by the way.
Well,
I mean,
my roads. I wish my roads were better. My roads in the farm were good, as good as the roads.
The
No. The last 2 years we've enjoyed. The roads are good. So that's what I'm saying. One from Adenta is 1 hour here. You know, so I have a home in Ajingrano, 1.5 hours. I'm here. You know, so I can even go and come if I want to. But I prefer to stay here.
I like that.
I prefer to stay here. It's,
like
it's
that.
no, I don't know.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
talking
it's a
to me.
pleasure.
We have your farm manager. Or
Yes,
what was he?
this is the man who did everything. You know, he was the one who planted all these mangoes.
Really?
You know.
Can I interview you a bit? Just ask you a few questions.
Please.
When did you start and how was it when you started?
You want to speak in Chi? Okay.
No problem. Jumani has 9 years now. 9 years in
9 years ago. Okay. Into Oshas, how was it in the beginning? Would you day how many acres? Na unkwana you know manage and answer how high amount for near the house.
I shall say no the ebo padoy. Aiming kwana me doy. It's after that no you do agree me. Abe.
Okay.
It's a share yan area hano agree me no ya de ebeboa. And I'm afraid daddy. And I see insanity. I think one man your friend say Mr. Ajimai.
Okay.
And I me do a mango.
Okay.
It's a part 4 and a bit dry.
How many acres are you in the beginning?
The beginning, no, you do have 15 acres.
15 acres.
Yeah.
Okay. Of mangoes.
Of mangoes.
Oh.
After that, you do a
10 cow.
10 acres.
You do a bro fast.
Okay. The same 15 acres.
The same 15 acres, no.
Amazing there.
Yeah.
Okay.
After that, you do a body 10 acres.
Okay.
At the fast.
Okay. So you had 3 crops.
Yeah.
Simultaneously. Okay.
Until after 2 years, no, and you do a 10.
They can 15.
Make a 15. We are being at 25.
Then we've done another 15. And another 20.
what was the difficult part of farming and doing what you do?
No ma a hard one say on my beboa ye juma. It is also be a farm there. No cre say a chassis in the a free 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years in the year. She saw you are doing say juma na wo yen piece KB in film.
In the first 2 to 3 years.
First yeah pay in film. Me always say a juma no be shamana yi. Inti after 4 years anymore, na nyame ya adomo a obetumi nya bibi kakra.
You shouldn't go in there trying to get money in the beginning stage. That's a good advice. Okay. Wow, thank you so much. What's your name? Introduce yourself.
Efrem Kofilabi. Efrem Okugwa.
Oh really? That's the Confanoch's grandson, eh?
Great grandson.
Great grandson. Yeah. That's incredible.
So now we are pruning.
Okay, what is pruning?
Pruning is the tree should not be more than 4 meters.
Okay.
For harvesting purposes. For also you need to open the top so sunlight can go in.
Okay.
It's also for pest and disease control. Okay. So this we've kept too long actually. So this year after a good harvest, we decided we are going to skip the major season. Okay. Prune it and we target the minor season.
The next market.
Yeah.
Okay.
To the minor season. So you might see people pruning.
Working on it.
Yeah. One of the things that you talk about, the quality of labor, it's always a challenge.
Really?
Yeah, quality of labor is our biggest.
What is like the major?
Because you know, you get people either they are not educated, so they can't absorb some of the modern methods.
So a bit of you need more of education.
But when they're educated, also maybe they don't have the what they call it, the drive, or you know, for agriculture. So you need. So now we're getting post-SS kids who actually they can
do some internships.
Yeah, you can apply for it. If there's fertilizer to be applied, if there's techniques to apply, they understand it better. You know, but you need an agronomist who can advise on stuff. Okay. You know, so pruning now you see the farm is clean. Yeah. We will just and then we will take some of the hardwood out and break the rest and act as mulch.
Okay.
You know,
as firewood or what?
As they can use firewood or charcoal.
Charcoal. Okay.
So I'm sure the ladies you saw there, they are scouting for that. Okay. That's our water system.
Water system. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
You know.
You did an irrigation for it too, right?
We have, even here there's irrigation, but it's so bushy for vegetables.
Okay.
But let me show you. pass through here. And also we've left some, this forest will intact.
Okay,
We won't
you didn't touch it.
Right. You need offsets for insects, you know. You should have, if you clear everything, you don't benefit from the insects. So this is one of the passion.
That's passion fruit.
Passion fruit.
Oh, that's big.
Yes.
Oh.
You want to?
Can we walk in there?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh wow. Let me just pick this one.
You know, so
That's a passion fruit right there.
so passion fruits is a vine.
It's a vine. Okay.
Yeah, it's a vine. I think it's been around for a while, and they fall down by themselves. And this is good stuff.
Is it good? Oh, I thought it was.
No.
Okay.
The
Because it's chopped.
Yeah, it's chopped because when they were slashing,
Oh, okay.
they
I thought it
didn't
was
pick.
depleted.
But this is good.
Oh, sorry. Oh wow. Now I feel bad.
No.
Oh wow.
You see, can try it.
Oh wow. Wait, hold on.
Yeah. You can chew the seeds. Yeah, you can chew the. It's caustic. That's the punch. So that's what gives it. Want to try it?
Okay.
You know, so it's sweet, but it has this.
Sweet and sour.
Yeah, it's not sour, but it has this.
But you
punch.
feel it in your.
Try it.
Oh my god. What is
The
the
flavor.
life cycle of this? How long does it take to be ready?
6 months.
6
You can
months.
start. 9 months is, and if you can manage the irrigation system, then you have fruits for the next 4 years.
Wow.
5 years.
So it will just keep producing
Right.
every 6 months.
That's right.
I see.
Actually, there's continuous. There are about 3 cycles within 9 months. Every 3 months you see some fruits.
Really?
You know.
Wow.
You know. So you see, let me show you something. See, so these are the flowers, the most beautiful flowers
Whoa.
that you can find, and then the flower will become the fruit.
Okay.
You know, so you have to protect the flowers, make sure they stay, and on one vine like that, you should avoid it getting entangled
With the next vine.
Yeah,
Let's see.
so that it stays, because it will, once it gets entangled, you need pruning. You see pruning down there, but you need to let it hang. You need to let it hang like this.
Independently.
You need to let it hang like this, then you can get fruits all the way
To the
down.
I see.
You know.
So each row, how many fruits or balls of passion fruit can you get from it?
We do. We are now 50 kilos per week.
50 kilos
We'll go
per
to
week?
100. We'll go to 200. Peak for us is about 500 kilos per week.
500 kilos. Oh, you've actually gotten there before?
We got 500 kilos per week, and it's 25 cedis per kilo.
25 cedis per kilo. Guys, do the
the
math.
numbers.
If you're not doing farming, you're wasting your own time.
But it's, the passion fruits, I say it's not for everybody too.
Is it hard to do it?
It's not hard, but you need some investment to start.
Okay.
You need these poles. As you see, we've even changed the poles. This Mbakube.
Female
Coconut, or what they call it.
Okay.
It's a type of palm
Okay.
that they
cut it in.
cut it.
Why
and
do they use that specifically?
It's hard, and
Okay.
the termites can get at it.
I see.
So now we are using, on the other side, you see, we are using teak.
Teak.
Yeah.
It's
And
also
then-
have the same similar.
Right, for the poles, and then you put the wires on top, and then you have, yeah.
I never knew passion fruit is grown in Ghana. I thought it was imported. Interesting. So how many acres of passion fruit do you have?
About 5 acres,
5 acres.
but they can grow big. Come try and
So
see.
yeah, I see that one.
And they fall by themselves.
So you don't have to plug it.
You see?
Wow.
So
Is
you
it
want-
modified?
No,
No. Okay.
no, it's not modified.
This is
You know.
huge.
But they come in 3 different colors. You have the yellow, you have the lime green, and the purple. The purple is sweeter. So one of the techniques we need to learn to do is how do you get more purple? So grafting, you know, pollination techniques and so on, so you can get more. But this is the size you want, and this is how clean you want it for the supermarket, for instance. Or if you want to do export.
Do people pick from you?
Yeah,
The
I mean,
market, supermarket?
you know, I sell to aggregators.
Okay.
I don't have the production to consider exports now.
Supplying,
Yeah,
okay. Oh, export.
I don't do export,
Okay.
but you know,
Local market.
local market is enough for me.
I see.
You know, so it's growing fine. So once you find a good breed like this, this is where you keep some of the seeds and then use it for your nursery.
Interesting.
You know,
Okay.
you know.
Because
Okay.
this is huge.
Let's go to the other side. But the flowers are nice.
You were saying something about the one. Why are they empty?
You go. You will
Okay.
see.
There's another one there. Yep.
Prekese,
Prekese. Oh,
you know.
what is it for?
Prekese is a bemkwan soup. It's for, I understand people think it's good for controlling blood pressure and so on.
And Prekese is they say it's only grown here in Ghana and then Israel.
Israel, yeah, that's what people say. Nigeria also, yeah.
Nigeria also.
Yeah. So here, they fall down by themselves and people come and pick
it
them.
up. Wow.
So we
Are
have
they
some-
oranges?
Yeah, we have oranges, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Oranges.
How many acres of that?
About 1, 2.
1, 2 acres.
acres. So we're going to, here also we're going
Pineapple?
to, we did pineapple last 2 years.
Okay.
But we're going to change. So that's
Passion.
right. And it's not empty. Actually, they started coming. You see the passion fruits,
Yeah.
the vines are started growing. So you
Yeah.
do trellis them to the top and then you arrange them, you know. So all this is passion, going to be passion.
Wow. Oh, this is where we came. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's where they were pruning, you know, because if you don't prune, you get more leaves than fruits. It matures like that one or this one, you know.
See. And then you wait till it drops down and you pick it up.
It drops down, you pick it up, you know. You see? So you see the insects are working. You see the bees are, they are
bees there?
pollinating. Yeah, you see the bees?
I don't see it.
There's a type of bee that pollinates it.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, you see. One of the guys is doing his tomato farm there.
The one next there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we planted competing crops, you know, bananas and coconut. And you see the coconut growing so tiny because they're being
And there's
forced.
cocoyam there or what?
Those are bananas. They grow
Bananas,
like
okay.
weeds, you know. They just grow like weeds. So this is an acre of passion fruits, and you know, it also gives us revenue. The mango you have to wait. There are 2 seasons, but typically every 2 years you miss a season. So if you say assume that 1 season per mango, every 6 months you have mango, or once a year you have mango. Passion fruits you have weekly. So you have weekly cash.
Interesting.
You know, so you need to find a blend between, like I said, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months to 1 year cash flow.
That means 4 times harvest in a year.
Whether 4 months or not, weekly. I prefer the weekly.
Weekly, okay.
You know, weekly. Every week you get money. It helps with your
Constant
cash flow,
cash flow.
paying salaries and so on.
That makes sense.
You know, so you can use parts of the farm, the produce, to manage your investment, the
Employees.
farm. You know,
Okay.
some you use for pay salary, some you use for paying equipment, some you know,
Yeah.
you know.
For extra expansion.
Expansion, you know. So the big one, the mango, you can use for that. And then if you can grow, if you can use a passion to pay salaries, and so that's a great opportunity.
Wow.
You know.
So you advise people to jump into it?
Well, there's, you can't grow enough. You know. There are some who grow for export, there are some who grow locally. And also you can even take the seeds out. If there's a glut, you take the seeds out, put in a freezer and sell when the market goes down.
Oh wow, so you
You
sell
know.
the seeds to other farmers?
Yeah, the seeds is the fruit. that you don't chew the skin. You see, that's why it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the seeds, so you can take the seeds and refrigerate it. You know, and you use it for smoothies, you know, with a blends with cocktails and also juices. And they use it also in the baking industry also. Gives it a flavor, you know, passion flavor cakes and so on.
Wow. I've learned a lot
Even
today.
for me, breakfast, I get some cereal, I throw passion on it.
Cereal?
Yeah,
Passion.
my cereal.
How does that work?
Yeah, you try it and see.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes some yogurt, cereal, throw passion fruit on it. You know, even salads.
Really?
You can
Can I swallow the seed?
you can chew it.
No, if I don't chew
It's
it,
edible. You can.
Would it digest?
Why not?
Okay.
It's edible.
I heard that it won't digest, so make sure you
No,
chew everything.
it will come through anyway, whether you like it or not. If you don't digest, it will come through, but you lose the minerals maybe in the seeds.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
Anyway.
Right. So in general, you have over 160 acres that you are working on, or 65 acres.
About I would say about here about 60 acres. And we have 20 acres akwini, another 16 acres, 10 acres maize, and then over there we have about 20. It's a 40-acre farm, but we're doing about 10 acres
What do you wish
coconut.
you knew before you started farming?
What I knew, I think that it's important to have a healthy cash flow. You know, because that's always. There are some months there where I need to contribute to the farm, my pension to the farm. I wish I don't do that, but you know. So one is just understanding and keeping records. That's another thing. Keeping records. That's another thing that I've learned the hard way. You have to keep records. You know.
I see.
You know, but it's also. I'm saying if I know what I know now, maybe I wouldn't have started also so big. I would have
15
stayed.
acres.
15, we graduated very quickly to 25, and then 25 became 40, and then it became 60. You know, maybe you consolidate and then you expand. You consolidate and you expand. And then irrigation is another thing that right from day one, maybe you should.
It's costing.
Yeah, you should try irrigation. You should, even the mangoes, if you irrigate, you get better product. But irrigation is expensive, so. So we're trying to irrigate the passion fruits. You know, there's a team coming to help us irrigate about 10 acres for vegetables and so on. That short-term cash flow management.
So are you going to install the irrigation system?
Yeah, it's going to. We have
On
some
the 10
here,
acres?
but the system we have is not robust. So we're getting a better irrigation system, and we can use the stream. There's a stream here also. We can use that, and there's a stream over there. We can use that, so you don't need to tap into a borehole.
Okay. Would the borehole water affect it, or
No.
no?
But first you have to test it also and make sure that
What about the salt content?
it's been tested by CSIR and Water Resources Institute, and it's all okay
Okay.
for human consumption. So, so we are fine with water.
I like that. Incredible.
And I might even try to do open IMO. There are different techniques now that one understand.
Okay.
The other thing also we use is a lot of manure
Manure. What kind of manure?
from Mr. Tete.
Oh, okay.
Pottery manure. So we use a lot of it.
I see.
So you see, we dig a hole around the plant. We dump manure. It's only manure and water. That's. You don't have to do much.
Which is the feces of the chicken?
Chicken, yeah. It's valuable.
Nothing goes to waste.
It's very valuable.
I see.
You know, all that you have. So we let Mr. Tete dump. You know, we help each other. You know, he evacuates his manure. We use it here.
I like that.
Yeah.
So you don't buy fertilizers?
I know. We use fertilizer for some crops, but not. We don't need it. You know, for most of the crops.
Are they disadvantaged to using fertilizers?
I don't think so. Some people, if they want all organic, they don't like to use chemical fertilizers. But these are biological fertilizers.
Okay.
Or soil conditioners, you know,
Right.
so you can use them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you're working. Let's
All right.
continue.
Everybody here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I interviewed another farmer, a mango farmer, and he was speaking about losing about 500 tons of mango
Oh, yeah.
because of no market.
Yeah. you see, the thing is not this year in particular, the harvest was heavy.
Okay.
So the factories were picking what they can pick. So here, for instance, they could have been picking every week 40 tons. They were picking only 20 tons. You know, so you lose some. You know,
That's it.
but that's why value addition is big on my agenda. You know, we need to figure out a way. So this is also passion, but you can see we've left it in the bush for too long.
The coconuts.
There's coconut, oranges, you know, some more mangoes.
Is it the pear? Is it payankuto? Is it one of those?
Yeah, we have some. We have about 3 or 4 varieties of pears.
Okay.
So we have the, So in future we're going to do fish ponds here, ground tanks.
On this part?
On this part is it's a valley.
Is it also going to be catfish or different other fish?
Mostly catfish and maybe tilapia. Tilapia is tough to manage, so you have to. So at least anything you put,
pawpaw.
it grows. Yeah, you know.
That used to be my favorite fruit growing up.
Yeah, I used to eat. I was in Sierra Leone for 3 years, and every day I ate a pawpaw.
Oh, really?
My cook insisted I eat pawpaw.
They say you can use it for stew.
Yeah, you can actually, if you cook, if you don't have tomatoes, you can use pawpaw. You can dice up the green pawpaw. The texture comes out like.
Welcome back.
Yeah. You created this. We have an outside kitchen and so on, and a safe space for meetings and so on. And then that's the picture of Albert.
Oh, okay.
The reason why we are here, you know, Albert, as I said, is 29, turning 30. So October is going to be a big thing for him. Yeah, his birthday, October 5th. Yeah, so he'll be 30 years old. Wow. So he's a big boy now. So we have a small conference room.
Oh, okay.
On the 30th, no, 27th, we have some volunteers from the US are coming for.
Of this month?
We're going to do some training in transition care for children with autism. So yeah, we have, and then when the families come, there's 1 bedroom here, but let me show you.
Okay. I saw you have inverter, that's solar, right?
Yes, we use solar most of the time. So the backup. So this, we started with this one as a, so this is a kind of apartment for the families. We have 2 ensuite rooms here. We have 1 downstairs, and now we build the whole block. So it's a suite where families can use.
Very spacious.
Yeah.
King size bed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another bedroom. That's Albert's room. Most likely when he's here, he uses it.